Everybody, we are back. It is Tipped Online, Favorite Podcast, Favorite Channel, Favorite Everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course pandasubs.com discount code TDL for 35% off. And it's bye week, so took a little break a little bit. I was gonna do some stuff, but I was like, you know what? I'm taking.
You gotta reset.
Yeah,
the week 13 bye week. People don't understand, man. It's hard on us. It's hard on us out here trying to put out content.
I know, man. It usually is like week 6. It's been like week 6, week 5 usually. Yeah, man. That was a lot of weeks without a bye. I was like, what?
The middle season bye is necessary for doing this, because there's so many times I'm like, man, I need to just take a breath. And then it doesn't come until December. You're like, whew, that was a long sprint.
That was a lot. Yeah, man. To the whole damn college football season, basically, bro. That's what we did.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
Seriously. All right. So now we're doing the rookie review, though. We're gonna check out all the rookies. And I didn't do Aiden O'Connell, but because I'm gonna do a separate video on Aiden O'Connell. I think. I mean, we do Aiden O'Connell enough. So Michael Mayer, Trey Tucker, and we got Jacorian Bennett and Tyree Wilson. All right. So we didn't dive into like Nesta and some of those other guys. I mean, Nesta would had one game of snaps. Brian Young doesn't even play anymore.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing more guys, but yeah, like you said, Nesta, we basically did the one game he played, and for whatever reason, he hasn't even been active since then.
That IG video.
Brian Young, that would just depress me a little bit, because the guy just isn't even on the field anymore, and then Bernie's kind of the same way. So, yeah. Figured Wilson, obviously, because he's the number one guy and still playing a little bit, and Bennett will probably get some more playing time, I would imagine, to finish the year now that Marcus Peters isn't a part of the equation.
Yeah. I got two Michael Mayer happy, so I was watching it a bit. I gotta show this catch, and I gotta show this catch, and
you didn't even have that many catches. We got all 20 of them.
they're all highlights, bro. I don't know. It was crazy, though. And then I realized my video was like 8 minutes long, and I was like, oh man. So because I had to show his blocking. I have to show him blocking too. That was the problem, really. I didn't want to show him blocking. I just wanted to show all, and then I got a little mad because then I'm going to show how he could probably have some of the best tight end numbers in the league if people are just doing the damn ball. So I'm going to show that too. But then I just added a little bit of Trey Tucker, just like Matt did. So cut up a segment, but what I thought I was going to do, but man, it just. I don't know, man. It's just he's just so damn good. It's like I just want to see him get 12 targets one game. I just want a 12 target Michael Mayer game.
Well, I keep getting people asking me about why he's not getting more targets, and I keep trying. I don't know how many times I can say the same thing. So I'll be interested to see, and maybe I'll have to start throwing this out there for people. So,
I mean, the reason is because there's Jacoby Myers and there's Devontae Adams and there's Hunter Renfrow, and there's a lot of guys that got to eat. But I don't know. I just want one game where they just eat through him. I just want to see it. I think he would have a huge game if they just played through him one game. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like they've been teasing it. I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering it a little bit, but at least one game these last two, they kind of started peppering him with targets a little bit in the first game. I'm and I remember thinking in my head, okay, this might be Michael Mayer's game, if he's gonna be part of the game plan, and then just nothing.
Yeah,
throughout the rest of the game, maybe a catch here or there, down the stretch that kind of catches you by surprise, but would love to see them target him as much as possible.
Yeah, I think it's Devontae too, man. Devontae, he's got to have the targets and a lot of those things. But because I feel like if Michael Mayer, the most targets he got, I believe, was that Patriots game where he went 5 for 75. He got 7 targets. So that's the most he's got in a game, and he went 5 for 75. You know what I mean? It's just so that's why when you watch it, you're like, okay, if he got 10, what would that look like? Would it be 8 and 70? Would it be actually 8 and 75? I mean, it's probably what he's going to give you if you give him 10 or 11 targets. He's giving you probably that 8 receptions out of some of those with some yak and some yards and some of those things. But there's a lot of guys who are eating on this offense right now. To be honest, I mean, Myers is playing really well. Adams is, even though I don't think Adams is playing as well as he should be, but I think Myers is playing pretty well, and Renfrow is actually getting some play, so he looks like Hunter Renfrow. So there's a lot of targets, but and then Trey Tucker, I went over him a little bit, and I went over just his route running little bit more than anything. All right, so what were your thoughts on some of the defensive players that on the rookie side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like, yeah, the defensive players, right? Yeah, kind of like we were talking about, like Tyree Wilson. One thing that kind of surprised me that I didn't expect to come away with, I was actually a little bit more impressed with him as a pass rusher than against the run. Against the run, a lot of the plays he makes are like when he gets like one-on-one block by like a tight end or something like that. He'll be able to get off the block and use his size and length to kind of just physically dominate. But then when he gets blocked by like an offensive tackle or whatever, he kind of disappears. Excuse me. Not that he's getting like his butt kicked or anything like that. Just kind of like doesn't really come off and make plays and stand out quite as much. And then too, like we'll see an example of it. I don't know what it is, but whenever he sees like a combo block coming, he just like freezes and like he just can't handle it. It doesn't matter who it is. Like we're gonna see one where he takes on a block from a wide receiver and a tight end and loses. And I'm like, you can't be this big and get dominated like that at the point of the attack by like two guys that aren't known for their their blocking skills and stuff like that. As a pass rusher, I mean, don't get me wrong, still got plenty of work to do. There were a lot of reps that I wasn't really like thrilled with from him, where you can tell he's not quite the athlete that a lot of these other dudes that typically go in the top 10 for an edge rusher like are. But man, he does have some nice physically dominant reps. Like he had one rep against Darnell Wright that we'll see that was pretty damn impressive, where he won like right away. So definitely some encouragement on that part. And then as far as Jacorian Bennett, I mean, I'll be honest, man, a lot of the good clips that we're finding were in garbage time against the Giants. So it's not exactly the most encouraging tape out there, but I mean, there are flashes of promise. I think the biggest thing with him, and the kind of thing I want to like get ahead of too before we dive into his film, is consistency is his biggest issue right now. Yeah, like he'll have good reps where you love everything you see about him, and then he'll have like the same exact play, and then he'll screw it up somehow, like or whatnot. So I think that's the biggest thing with him is more than anything, more than even showing these clips is really going to be able to articulate or show right now, is like he's just not the same player play to play, and he's almost, and like I was talking about at the beginning of the season, it seems like he's thinking too much a little bit. So
yeah. You know what's interesting about it? I mean, he won the starting job at training camp.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess there's some elements of him knowing things, but I mean, going out there and playing full speed in the NFL against somebody else is totally different than whatever you do in training camp too. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of experience for him. So I mean, there's upside there just because of that, but you don't know how this kind of the regime change, how they're going to feel about Jacorian Bennett with the new coach or whatever if they get one. Yeah. So yeah, he's got a lot to work on. He's got a little bit to work on, but Tyree Wilson, I mean, there's some elements there. What makes me feel good about him is the dude from Florida State. What's his name? No, not dude. Who plays for the Jets now? Jermaine Johnson.
Oh, Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, because they're kind of. I mean, Jermaine Johnson went where probably Tyree Wilson probably should have went in the draft when you think about athleticism and kind of those things. I think he went like 21 or something like that, like kind of later on. I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, but something later on in the draft in the first round, and he didn't look good his rookie year either, right? But this year he's playing a little bit more inside, and they're moving around, and he looks damn good. So and they're kind of the same athletic, a little stiff and have a lot of bend, but they're really powerful guys that can have a little bit of movement to their body where they could do a couple of jab steps and stuff, and they can play a little bit better inside. So I'm hoping he goes to Jermaine Johnson. Right? That's what I'm hoping. Just be Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson was not good rookie. We get that. You just second year you just explode. That's kind of what I'm hoping for Tyree. That's my thought process.
And I think the encouraging part too is Tyree Wilson has more natural gifts than Jermaine Johnson does. Like Tyree Wilson, like I think what people don't understand is like why he was so coveted in the draft process. There aren't guys that have 35-inch arms or whatever he has. Like those just don't grow on trees that you can like plug and play and put on a football field. So we'll see a little bit of that. He's still learning how to use it. So again, if he can get more experience and get better at doing that kind of stuff, we'll see a lot better. We'll see a lot improved Tyree Wilson next year, and hopefully to finish the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get to some film, man. I'll go first, I guess. Offense pays the bills. That's what you say. All right, here you go. All right, so starting off with Michael Mayer first. I try not to spend the whole hour on him, so I'm gonna try to get this pretty quick. All right. So first of all, it's just how they use him, right? Which I think is a lot of elements of why I talk about he could be a big target guy, especially with the rookie quarterback. I think they got to lean on him a little bit more. Gets these bootlegs right here where he can get outside on coming these quick screens, these type of things. Not quick screens, but these quick throws, right? Get him out in the flat, especially, you know, he does a lot of pass protection, so teams are expecting him to pass protect. This play has worked like every single time they've done it. Like, literally, here he is, the Chiefs, same kind of look, just flip him off, and then he's a yak guy. Look at him, he's in space. He's making guys miss. He's jumping over people. So there's just a lot of ways that you could use him. That especially if they get a new offensive coordinator and they can get really creative, and he can become more part of the passing game as he grows. Right? There's just so much potential, man. I just love watching this guy. I was like, oh my god, we have Michael Mayer, and then he's just jumping over people. A beast. All right, 3rd and 7 here. You know what I'm saying? We're getting hit on mesh route this time. And just he's gonna get in space, and then he's gonna make a guy miss, make another guy miss. It gets turned, what is that? 7 yards into 20 yards.
Yeah. And that's, I feel like he wasn't like that, like athletic or like being able to make guys miss necessarily in college. Like he was more of a run you over type of dude. So this is nice to see.
And it's he's tough to tackle, and I'm telling you, man. Like even in the red zone, I feel like running a screen to him or something, making guys have to tackle him.
Yeah.
Just so many things you could do with him if you get creative. Just open field, making guys miss. The dude, he didn't even want none. He tried to go for the legs and it missed. And you see in the play action game, you can use him in the play action game too as well. Play action, right there in the flat.
Beautiful.
He can move. He has great hands.
I love the spacing on that route too.
Yeah, look at that.
Like
exactly
make sure 20 is that 20. I was just saying, I love the spacing to make sure 20 can't make a play on it.
Yeah, great hands too. That ball's a little out in front of him, a little bit. No, it's not a bad throw. I had to go back and watch some Jimmy Garoppolo tape. I wasn't very excited about this. It wasn't a bad throw, but it's a great catch. Right at the tip of his hands. Some guys would drop that. I mean, just all the things he could do. He could do anything in the pass game. We could run a route. We got out routes here. Here's an out route here. Here's Michael Mayer right here. Right, you see him just. I'll show more on the back on the end zone view. You can see a little better. Where you get the little lean veteran push off, 1st down, 3rd and 9, and then he's hard to take down. Like, I don't know. I always feel like he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, watching this is almost frustrating.
You know what I mean? Because I got like watch it right here, dude. Like say this veteran push off, he's leaning into it, so it's not pass interference, it's a lean.
Yeah, it's the flipper.
It's the lead, and I'm bigger. Come on, man. It's like Shaq type of thing. Like, yeah, is it pass interference? Probably, but he's so bigger, right? He's so bigger than that guy. Is it really a push off? But that's him. That's how I know he's so savvy, because he probably can't beat this guy 1-on-1. Okay, I'm gonna use my physicality to beat him. Get just as much separation as I can, and then run everybody over. Make it tough to tackle. That's a great tackle by Reed, but it was tough for him. So here we go, and then we talk about he understands zone. Boom. See him quick. See how quick he sees those guys open. See how quick he gets his head around for the quarterback. Gets a quick 9. So he has a good understanding of zone coverages too already at this point. Boom. Sit down. Get it. See, Matt, this is why I did it. This is why it took so long.
I like too how he opens his hips like where he knows O'Connell's going to put the ball.
Exactly.
Like that last little move.
Because, I mean, this wasn't even the best throw in the world. Mm-hmm. But like I said, he catches everything, man. Nice catch right there. Tough catch. Made it for his quarterback. And then we got to get into the sexy plays, of course. We're getting to the the big time plays. It's a bunch of horrible spotlight, but it's fine. Here you go. Play action, and then he just, you could just throw it up to him. It doesn't matter. Just throw it to him. It's like that. This is what I'm talking about, man. It's like that. You just throw it to him. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is in traffic. Show it better from this side. You see, I mean, he's really not open, but it doesn't matter.
He was one of the best tight ends and contested catches in college football last year. One of the most successful.
Like, number one can't believe it. He's like, what the hell just happened? You know what I mean? And then, this one against the Jets. And, he just and got his feet down. So it's like that, man. It's really like that with him. And that's my thing is, like, he could be a 12 target guy. Like, if like Devontae Adams got hurt, I'm not saying he should, but I'm just saying, like, if he got banged up, they need to throw to him. And then it shouldn't be start throwing to Myers. You throw to him. Throw the ball to him because you can move him around. They haven't even moved him outside yet. He could win outside. And of course, I'll go over run blocking a little bit. So, we saw, like, I kind of just want to show the growth of his run blocking because he was, like, really bad this game. I don't know what the hell he's doing here. He doesn't know what he's doing there either. But there still was some fight there. You saw some fight from Michael here in the blocking. Because I was thinking when I was doing blocking, I was thinking, we judge tight ends too hard because I'm expecting the defense end to beat him.
Yeah, that was a beautiful. Yeah, I remember this play live. This was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, but you see the growth here, right? Like this is him on, I know that's a safety or a corner or whatever, but still, that's a great block. He's opened it up for Jacobs, which leads to a touchdown.
Yeah, he sets up Miller perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with tight ends too, is like half of the time run blocking, it's just a matter of effort, especially young ones.
Yeah. You see here's against, he gets his second level on 50, gets a good block there. Chris Parham gets his butt kicked, so it doesn't matter, but you still see a pretty good block there from Michael Mayer. If Parham did his job, then that might be a little different run play or run outcome. So, I mean, a little bit in pass protection too, which he's been pretty solid all year. See him here against TJ Watt there, right? I know TJ Watt might be playing, trying to set the edge first, but you see he's not getting pushed back. Pretty good anchor there, and he's just He's fighting, right? And he's been pretty good at pass protection all year, to be honest. So he's pretty complete at this point. But then this is what I'm showing. Like he's just going to be having a bigger year than he actually could be talking about. Like we talk about Kyle Pitts' big year he had. I mean, Mayer, this is a touchdown. He's going to score on this one. After you watch the other Yaks, he's scoring. He's going to drag those dudes into the end zone with him. He's dragging them to the end zone. And then I got on O'Connell about this one last week, but it's just these type of plays. Boom, just throw it to him. Like make these guys tackle him. At this point,
yeah.
There could have been already some Gronk moments this year that we're missing, guys. We could have been already calling him Baby Gronk already because I think he runs over 21. It's just my guess. And then like this play, against the Packers with Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's running like a little quick out here up at the top, and he's just like just nobody around him, and then it's an easy check down. Like and he just checks it down to Jacobs with like 3 guys around him, and there's nobody around him, and everybody's turning around. All right, so Trey Tucker. That was gonna go black on me again. Trey Tucker. All right, here we go. So Trey Tucker, I mean, to be honest, he reminds me of, and people are gonna be like, that's kind of crazy. He's like a poor man's Deshaun Jackson. Okay, this is what, and it just from everything around it, because I think he's stiff, so he can't run too many routes, but he can do this really damn well, and he tracks the ball really damn well, and all of this is really good. And he's just a great deep threat. Like it is something that he'll be able to do for a very long time in the NFL. And he's one of those guys that, I feel like you don't have to have a crazy amount of weapons because he does something that is going to fear teams. Teams are going to they fear it. It happens regularly. He's going to beat everybody. I haven't seen somebody run with him yet. We're going to watch some more of this, but it's just something he does, man. Honestly, on this one, He's gonna run right past this guy on the post route. Not my bad. This is just a go right here. He's pretty good release too. There's one thing I noticed, like he does pretty good against press coverage too. Like if you got to get your hands on him, because if you don't, he's going past you quick. You see a nice little arm over there, he's gone. You ain't catching him. And I think it's Deontay Banks. I think Banks was like a 4.3.
Yeah, he can fly.
Right? But that's his release. He's a great release against press coverage. Which, that's why I think Bo Hardgrave was like, maybe this guy could run routes. So, but it's just all day long, you could do this. He's going to beat everybody. It's consistent. You see here, the nice catch he made right here. He's pretty damn good hands. He could be inconsistent at times, but he has pretty consistent hands. I mean, I kind of just, whatever, but his hands are okay. They're good. They're good hands. Let's say that. But I want to show this one. Look how far off Jalen Johnson is. Okay, Jalen Johnson's like up here. Look at Jalen Johnson. That's a good 10 yards, right? This is 3rd and 17. He's a good 10 yards off. It's just he just takes off. He just goes right past him. And then he gets a pass interference. Like no, Jalen, that's pass interference. You were freaking out, bro, because you're playing 10 yards off, and this dude just runs past you anyways.
God damn.
And that's what I'm talking about. That reminds me of Deshaun Jackson, bro. That's what Deshaun Jackson used to do. He's so fast. And then he tracks the ball well because he creates the pass interference because that's him tracking the ball well. You just don't do it with Jalen Ramsey, because Jalen Ramsey just picks it. But yeah, but see, he caused that pass interference. He's tracking the ball well. He helps cause that because he beat the guy. The guy's he's already freaking out.
Yeah, run by with 10 yards cushion is pretty impressive.
It's impressive. And like here's another one. He didn't get the ball thrown to him on this one, but just see how fast he is. And what bothered me about this one is like this guy's looking at Brian Hoyer. He's not even looking at Trey Tucker. Brian Hoyer has all this time, and that is a touchdown, bro. That's a touchdown. He's not even looking at Trey Tucker. That's a touchdown.
But Brian Hoyer can't make that throw.
Yeah, I know. But that's what we need a big arm quarterback. If anything, the proof you need a big arm quarterback for Trey Tucker is that. All right, but so what happened? He started getting some targets, So we're like, you know what, man? We're gonna give you 7 targets in a game. See, that's why they do this with Michael Mayer. This is my problem. All right. So we start getting into routes, but what you see is he's just a little stiff. That's why he reminds me of Deshaun Jackson. Okay. He's just a little stiff. He plays slot in college, but he can't play slot in the NFL when you're this stiff. I'm keep it real. There's just a lot of steps. He just can't. And he rounds it off. It's just not a good route. And it's just because he's so stiff, he can't. He's such a straight line speed guy. It's hard for him to stop when he's in full speed. That's why I see somebody on TikTok. Can he be the next Tyree Kill? I was like, no, he can't. He can't do that. Deshaun Jackson, maybe. All right, so here's another one. I'm gonna show the steps. See, it's just, and then he rounds it out, and then he has to come back to the ball. It's just not clean, right? And it's because he can't stop that quick.
Yeah,
he's just lit. He's stiff. He's a stiff guy. It's straight line speed, but you see the separation because Xavier Harris, he's terrified. Look how terrified Xavier. He's just because he actually plays it okay. He's scared that he's gonna run past him. He saw Jalen Johnson tape last week before or something. And then here's the interception. This kind of shows exactly what's wrong with his route running, right? So, full speed. I mean, he has, like I said, Ramsey's worried. I mean, they ran this before. It's probably a wheel. He's a little worried. He is, right? You can tell when he starts to cut inside. Ramsey even I know he has probably one of the best transitions, but he is still a little beat here, right? But he rounds it off so much that it allows Ramsey to undercut it. I mean, it still was a bad throw, I think. I mean, still if he kind of leads him, still has some room there. Yeah, but since it was a bad throw, Tucker can't cut it off because he rounded the route off, and now Ramsey can just do that.
Yeah, he invites Ramsey back into the play. Like that's what you're
Mhm.
talking about a little bit. Like it takes him 5 yards to make the cut.
Yeah. Because let's say that was Tyree, because Tyree is cutting already, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is, but Deshaun Jackson would do this. This is stuff when I used to watch Deshaun Jackson with the Raiders. Is the stuff that he would do when you try to get him in the route tree. Is just get real stiff and then round a route off like that, and get it picked. And you're like, oh, the quarterback sucks. It still could have been a better throw, but because even like when they get him on some of these jet sweeps and stuff like this, you still see like he doesn't make a lot of people miss. It's just
Mm-hmm.
he's just a straight line speed guy. Like you have to have great blocking for this to be a big play. He's not gonna like show any juke moves or anything. Like you get this 1-on-1 with him and this guy, and he goes down right away. It's not like it's nothing that he's gonna do. It's gonna like kind of make a play or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really what it is with him. So, yeah. So those are the offensive guys. So Michael Mayer, of course, is a baller, and I know what a way to explain it. And I'm like, what are you gonna look like year 3? Like you're free for like 3 years. Like you're so cheap. That's a great cheapness right there. Because I mean, we're gonna pay you. If the Raiders let him go, I'll be pissed. Unless he gets hurt, I don't know. It only goes up from here at this point. And
Yeah.
watching him play like that and play like that year 1, it's like, oh man, how good are you going to be? You know, are you gonna win like that's a Pro Bowl tight end, man. I mean, that's what it's. I mean, possibly all pro. Like, and that sounds crazy for me to say, but the film is there. I don't know how else to explain it, and that's just like not even a lot of targets for him. I mean, that's him just getting targets from like week 5 and on. I mean, for some reason, Josh McDaniels saw him move around at training camp. He's like, you know what? I like Austin Hooper better. So you know, I don't know what that thought process is. That I don't. Austin Hooper, he's just a veteran. I just like how he. Like, this dude should be getting targets since week 1. Like this development, I don't know. Go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say I never really got it because like like while Austin Hooper is a veteran and all that stuff, like the gap in talent was pretty significant between him and Michael Mayer. But hey, is what it is. We don't need to worry about that guy anymore.
As soon as McDaniels is gone, that Michael Mayer has not been the number 1. He's been the number 1 tight end since then. So I don't know how is that like I assumed when they drafted him he's a starter.
Yeah,
but then like because seriously, I was trying to go. I went to like the Steelers game and some of those games just kind of find some things, and I was like, he's not playing on their passing snap. Like, why? What are you doing? And it just baffles the hell out of me. And he's getting more targets more often now. But I just want a 13 target game, just like 13. Him go for like 10 for 140. Just so everybody else knows this. Everybody else knows what I'm seeing, and I don't sound crazy. So yeah. But yeah, and then Tucker, he's just Deshaun Jackson. Just go route, goes and post.
Yeah,
really. Anyway, when you saw it, what did you think, man?
I mean, no, I think you nailed it right away. Like I think that's one of the biggest things that people are, especially with Trey Tucker, is like someone had asked me about that too, and I'm like, the problem is his route running, like 1,000%. I would like to see what he can do, like on like a kick return or whatever, like and getting into the special teams aspect of it. But I don't know, they haven't really used him there either. So
yeah, I think he'd be a good kick returner. Because then kick return, you ain't got to do too much. Like, it's not like punt return.
It's straight. Yeah, that's why like Cordero Patterson's so good because he doesn't have to cut. He can just run as fast as he can and get that track speed.
Hit the hole, man. Just go. Yeah, because his speed is nuts, man. His acceleration. Because that Jalen Johnson, he's just good at Jalen. So Jalen falls asleep a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy speed. And I think his release is really good too, which that's why I think he could be a deep threat for a long time. Because if you could, like Tavon Austin, those type of guys, they get beat up at the line. You can't beat up Trey Tucker at the line. And then if you miss, he's gonna do like an arm over, and he's gonna stack you, and then he's gonna separate from you.
Yeah.
And if the quarterback can get it out there, it's gonna be a nice play. So, yeah, he's a deep threat though, man. He's that type of guy that he's gonna be in the NFL for a little bit. Because he's blocks, he's tough. He could play special teams for and those type of things. And he speed kills. And as long as you're fast, somebody's gonna like it. I think Marquise Goodwin playing there for like 8 years
Yeah, I
because
feel like that's a decent
he has
comp.
track speed. What?
Yeah, I feel like that's a good comp right there.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Can't do a damn thing else, but he can run really fast on a go route.
All right. So one thing that like Tyree Wilson's kind of it's probably a smaller thing, something that doesn't go recognized on the broadcast, is he's really bad at getting under pullers. And this was an issue a couple times in this game. And we'll back this up a little bit. So the way the Raiders are playing this or fitting this run is Robert Spillane, the linebacker, is going to scrape over the top. He's responsible for anything outside the tight end. And then Tyree Wilson is supposed to be coming inside and doing what's called like a wrong arm on that puller to take away that inside gap. That's why it's wide open for Jahmyr Gibbs, and he gets 8 there. The problem is Tyree Wilson kind of just takes this block like on and take it on with his hands, and you can do that if you're going to close the gap with the man, if you're going to be strong and physical about it. But again, that's a lot harder to do against a puller because they're going to have momentum. That's why, and ideally, what you would do is take this outside arm right here that we see right here, and then kind of like use like a rip move to beat this guard across his face. And then hopefully, too, what happens is you end up picking the second puller, so you get a little bit of a 2-for-1, and that running back bounces and it hits right into Spillane, who is in a great position to be able to make that play against the tight end. But unfortunately, that hole is wide open, and they end up getting 8 yards on that, basically just because Tyree is not in the right spot. This is the play I was talking about a little bit earlier. Again, Tyree Wilson, when he takes on one-on-one blocks, he's a lot more physical. But for whatever reason, he gets a combo block, and I mean, that's just too soft. Like, you can't be 6'6", 275 pounds, and getting pushed to a goal line by a tight end like this. I mean,
no, you cannot.
I understand it's a double team or whatever, but again, it's a wide receiver and a tight end, and welcome to the goal line. Like, that just can't happen. Like, Raiders get a little bit lucky with me coming up hard to force him in, but no one's there on the backside and ends up getting called back. But that's an easy touchdown because we don't have the edge set right now. And again, I don't care that it's two guys. You're 6'6", 275, and a defensive lineman. No reason that a tight end and a wide receiver should be blocking you like that. Moving on a little bit to a few of the good stuff, a few good reps in pass protection. I mean, we're going to see a nice little one-arm stab move against Darnell Wright, who's been having a pretty good year for the Bears this year as a rookie. But I mean, again, balls out a little bit faster, but you can't ask for much more. This is a pretty quick win. And when he gets his timing down with his pass rush moves, like those long arms, like, what are you supposed to do right now if you're Darnell Wright? I mean, maybe you try and knock his arm down, but this dude's like Tyree Wilson's pretty strong too. That's not exactly easy. And like, I mean, we can see it right now. Like, Darnell Wright's got long arms for a tackle, but Tyree Wilson's so long and he's able to get so much extension because he's such, again, a freak with natural gifts that there's just not much you can do as a tackle to stop that. And any sort of longer play, and that's a sack. But cut back end, get a little Trevon Mayer gets beat on the inside, and it's a quick game and ends up not going for the way we wanted to. This situation, so in disclosure here, this is a Hail Mary at the end of the half, so I'm not worried about Tyree Wilson losing outside contain here. As you can see, they kind of Bears set that up. And what I love too is he recovers and ends up getting his first NFL sack here by getting a little strip sack. I think that's Nate Peterman. Shout out to my guy. But too, and I love the pass rush move too. Like, again, when he gets his hands down, I mean, there's nothing that tackle can do. Like, at no point did that guy set the anchor. And when his hands are inside and tight, like,
yeah,
you can see it again. Like, that guy never had a chance to set his feet. That's how he's able to go pursue and go get that sack. Here we'll get an even better example against the Bears game. This was obviously by far his best game. Granted, it's a backup left tackle for the Bears that was filling in for Braxton Jones, but still a couple nice quality reps from Tyree. Same thing. Like, you can see the power he has where when he gets his hands and he gets his little bit better leverage too. Like, the last one's a little bit better example because he's kind of even with helmets are even at this point. But even without that, like, he's still able to physically win. And then again, another rep that should have been a sack, but didn't because the ball was out too quickly. All
That
right,
was easy.
moving on.
That was his best game by far. The Bears game.
Oh yeah, he had a pretty good showing on that one. Again, got his first sack, got a little strip sack with it too, so not bad at all. Moving on to Corey Bennett, one of the biggest things that I think is kind of like is impacting him against the run and in the passing game is his open field tackling has not been good this year. Like we're going to see him in off coverage. He's going to come up on Garrett Wilson. I mean, I know this isn't even the best example because Wilson doesn't get like very many yards after contact, but that's mainly because I guess he did a good job hitting him in the knee or something like that, and and Wilson getting banged up, and because he just goes beeline for the out of bounds. But like another rep like this, like another example like that's going to lead to bigger plays later, and it has throughout the year, just more against the run or anything. We'll get another example of that here. This time he's going to go try and tackle a tight end, and I mean, if we're going to tackle tight ends, especially if we're going to tackle tight ends, we have to wrap them up. I can't go in there with a shoulder at whatever 195 pounds against a 230, 240 pound dude. That's not going to work every time. And like we'll see it here. Like this should be, if he hits him right here and wraps, right? This is beautiful. He's played it perfectly to this point. This should be what, 2nd and 8. Instead, he ends up picking up 5-6 more yards, and now 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7 turns into 2nd and 3, kind of to show you a little bit of the impact. And this is kind of what I was talking about, where there's times where he just kind of seems like he has brain farts, like great coverage, and then all of a sudden we just lose the guy. And that's Allen Lazard too. This is not exactly a good route by any means from Allen Lazard, but for whatever reason, Corey Bennett just gets flat-footed, plays it perfectly until that last little move to the outside. Like that's a double move, but I mean, there's no reason he should be getting beat like this. I think too, like if you watch his pad level too, we don't talk about that a lot with corners, but he's so far up and down that when he goes to change direction, he has that extra little hitch. And in the NFL, that's how you give up catches and give up separation. All right, moving on to some of his better reps. This one will actually see a little bit of better route recognition from him. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, where his consistency isn't quite there yet. Down here at the bottom of the screen, did I not mark this one? Yeah, I think I forgot to put. Oh, no, there we go. So, yeah, down here at the bottom of the screen, going against, I believe that's Slayton. The Giants love to run these dig routes. And, I mean, you can see right there, they're breaking at the same time. That's the good route. These are the good routes that we want from Ja'Cory Bennett, and that's what we've seen a few times from him, where he's actually been pretty good at recognizing it and running the route for him. We'll see the same thing here, except this time, great job of playing through the back of the receiver. He's going to end up getting a PBU. So I'll pause at the top of the route. I mean, he actually breaks before Slayton does, I believe, on that one. And then two, kind of you can see a little bit of his athletic gifts and is part of what made him the starter at the beginning of the year, where he can run a little bit and he can move. So you can definitely close on guys. This is the last one we'll end on. One thing that I do like about his game is he's really good at these speed turns to kind of get reattached in coverage. Like you'll see it here, like they actually kind of catch him. Again, Giants love to run the dig routes. He calls it out right here. They end up running what is that, in and out or in and go or whatever. But because he's got those fluid hips and because he can speed turn like that, he ends up staying on top of the route. I mean, there's no separation at that point. Again, came a lot during garbage time against the Giants. Can't say there was a ton of positive clips to share about Ja'Cory Bennett this year. But the ones that he did have were nice. And it's just a matter of consistency. And again, if he can clean up that tackling for him, that's one of the things that's really kind of irked me about him a little bit so far this season. And just being more consistent a little bit in the coverage end of things, because he's definitely got speed. You can definitely tell when he can carry guys downfield. So,
yeah, I mean, that was pretty good to watch for seeing. I mean, I know it's garbage time, but you still see his ability, right? You still see a lot of things he could do. Even on the play he got beat, you see how fast he caught up to Allen Lazard. if Zach was threw that ball, he would have picked it, which would have been crazy, right? Kind of type of thing. If he got his head around, but it was such an overthrown ball, he didn't even have to do anything like that. So, but you saw the more concerning thing is that the tackling, that was supposed to be like his thing. That was supposed to be his calling card, right?
And that's where I'm like, I feel like he's thinking too much. Like you can see on that one, like he'll have instances where like he'll come in like almost out of control and like come in and be aggressive and make the play. And then he'll have times where he'll like sit too far back, and then he's still trying to find that balance a little bit where it's like, man, like just go, like just figure out how you want to be, and like just play. Stop thinking a little bit. And I think that's one of the biggest things with him right now is just be a football player and stop being a robot a little bit. And sometimes that happens with rookies, but yeah, his tackling has been a little suspect so far.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of the more concerning thing. That was supposed to be one of his things because that's why he could play in the slot. Maybe, and maybe they might need to think about moving him around a little bit. In my opinion, kind of, if it's not working as much outside, it uses his ability to kind of, his movement skills. He could probably guard some, those more shiftier players. Because when I see him get beat, it's rarely like on like a slant or something like that. It's more like on a go route, double moves, those type of things he's getting beat on. You don't see those as much from the slot. So maybe they could think about, but that's just a future thing. You got Nate Hobbs thing, but that's just me thinking about his ability and what he did in college because he played in slot college too at times.
Yeah, he mixed it up a little bit. So
yeah, and then go ahead, man. Sorry.
I was gonna say I think part of the problem is too is like Tyler Hall's been playing well in the slot too, so they just have a bunch of guys that can fill that role between him and Hobbs. So
yeah, that was what I thought was weird drafting him, like, man, because he kind of looks like a slot guy to me. And then like
so he's the little guy. He's the little guy.
So you got 8 slot guys over there. You got Meek. You got a bunch of slot corners in this team. Play corner. All right. And your thoughts, Tyree Wilson. Let me say, Tyree Wilson. You see. That's what I was talking about Jermaine Johnson because you see some elements there, like the Bears game, that type of game. If he can build on it and learn his technique and learn how to win in the NFL, I think there's something there because that's what he's got to do. He's got to learn how to win. He's not gonna be able to win just based on his athletic ability. He's got to learn how to win based on his skills that he has. So,
yeah.
What were your thoughts?
I mean, no, you nailed it right there. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things is like, it's kind of the same thing. Like, I just want him to be more consistent with how physical he is, more aggressive a little bit, like so he can play it in that. Because that's how he was in college. Like the reps that I showed against the Lions where he gets pushed in the backfield, like that did not happen at Texas Tech because he was playing a little bit more confidently and like I don't know what or whatnot, and he was firing off the ball or as much as he can with his limited athleticism, where like he was strong and physical and dominant because of that. And now he just seems to be playing like more passive and thinking a little bit more. So again, kind of the common theme with both those guys, like just play football at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta just play football, man. Just do something. I don't know. Yeah. I know that's probably not get fans too excited watching this, but especially the defensive guys. So, I mean,
it is what it is. Like I said,
it's year one. It's year one. That's what I say with these rookies. Always year one. Everybody wants to freak out about everything and expect. That's why. When I saw the CJ Stroud, we're in the CJ Stroud era where we're all acting like we wanted CJ Stroud first. I mean, everybody, we all wanted him. I did. Everybody, we all had CJ Stroud as QB1. Every single body. Like I did, but the guy next to me didn't. So it was his fault. I mean, that's a rat. But like Bryce Young can still get better, man. I don't understand that. Like he's only played 1 year. He could be. No. I mean, they're saying Justin Herbert is better than Joe Burrow year one, and now most people say. I mean, there's some people who still say Justin Herbert is better than Joe Burrow, but most people would say Joe Burrow is better than Justin Herbert. So there's growth there with rookies, and people are so I don't know in the moment, I guess.
Yeah. Got to have the hot take right away. Got to judge a guy immediately. Can't let him cook it all.
Exactly. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We broke down all the rookies. Make sure you check us out. Make sure we do some more stuff this week. We're gonna mix it up. I mean, because we have like all week to do whatever we want to, basically. Because it's just football season. So we'll just mix it up. We'll get back to work a little. We took a little bye week, and then get you ready for the Vikings and Josh Dobbs, or maybe Jaron Hall, or maybe Nick Mullins. It could be any of them. I don't know, but Justin Jefferson's going to be back. We know that. So, all right, guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Right here. Peace.